Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Catherine Johnson-Aston. I'm the collection librarian. So with me today is Darren Weisman, the library director. We're going to be talking about streaming media at the library. I'm going to share my screen. So I don't have any slides today. I'm going to kind of walk you through how to find those resources that are streaming media from the library's website. So there's a couple different ways, and I'm hoping that this will make it easier for you to locate them and not overwhelm you with multiple road pathways or roadways to get there. First, I want to show you how to get there from the databases link. So if you click databases, you're going to see all the databases Penfield Library has. But there's this nice little databases by type. If you click that drop down, you can limit by the different types of databases we have. So today we're talking about streaming media. So I'm going to our video list of video databases that we have. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about each one. I'm not going to go into too much detail about academic video online because Sarah's going to be demoing this in the second part of this session. So academic video online is a very large collection. I think this number is actually a little higher than 67,000 titles at this time.
80,000.
80,000.
I will be updating that. Yeah.
Update that just a little bit. So as well, there are lots of videos in here, and they are current up to 2022. There may be some 2023s in there. If they're not there, they'll be there very soon. So it covers many topics, many subject areas, and has a great range of a large collection. And we do subscribe to the entire collection. So, you know, when they add 2023, that one will be there, you can access it. So everything in there you can access. We have a couple other things that we like to highlight. So we have the CBS News 60 Minutes from 1997 to 2014. So there's lots of videos in there. People sometimes like to look at that, or there's segments of it that they want to use for a presentation students. So has a lot of many hours of video in here. I'm going to skip over Kanopy for a second and come back to that. LinkedIn Learning, which is not something that the library purchases, but something that the campus has. So we have a link there for access to that as well. And if you haven't used it already, there's wonderful videos in there for professional development. So definitely take a look at that. All kinds of other things too, but really great for professional development and learning new software.
Can I add one thing about LinkedIn Learning?
Yeah.
This is the former lynda.com.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was, if you're familiar with lynda.com, it was really a premier, it's premier content that is now incorporated into this LinkedIn Learning product.
Yeah, and there's thousands of videos, so there's a lot in there. I'm not going to go in and look at each one, but just so that you know, we're definitely a great resource to look at. There are other links to this on the library website and on the faculty resources page as well. U.S. media stream, so some more of the 60 minutes. So we list the 60 minutes separately, but it's also within this other collection called U.S. stream that goes back. It has news and websites and videos back to the 1980s. So when I was a kid. And then women in social movements. This is a collection that is mostly primary source documents, but it does have a few videos. Not a lot, I will admit, but there are videos there. So we list this among the collections we have. And then we have something called Kanopy, which I think people may be more familiar with Kanopy versus academic video online. Kanopy is a little bit older. Academic video is a more recent purchase. Kanopy is something where we can purchase films one by one, whereas academic video is that large collection of over 80,000 titles. We purchase those one by one. The requests, if you haven't already done it, they're requested by faculty. They go through a process of being reviewed. And these are ones that we have to pay a subscription for each year. And it's usually approximately $150 for each year of access that we get. So say you use it 1 year and you only use it for one semester, then sorry, that's impeding. But if we use it for If you use it for one semester for one class, and then you want to use it again in the spring semester, we'd have to pay $150 again. We do look at that and try to determine how many students are using it. Do we have any other resources, especially in academic video, because we have so many resources there. So I'm not going to talk too much more about that, but this is how you go in if you wanted to just look at which ones we have, and the 6 are listed here. Other ways to do this, if you go back, you'll go back, okay, to the library's homepage. Here on the web page, there's this nice big box in the middle, and it says search all formats. Well, I don't want to search all formats. I just want to look for video. So if I click this little drop down, I can look at just audio, articles only, which we do have students do quite often, and then videos only. So if you just wanted to look up and just see what videos we had, I just administration. I know we have a program for that. So if I look those up in a second, it will load all of the videos that we have on this specific topic, which some of them are not very present, but homemaker companion series, OSHA standards. So a lot of different things here. It does come up with just 160. If we did an AVON search, we get more because it's a bigger collection. Some things to do here, you can look at subjects. So if you didn't want to look through the 160 results here, you can go to subjects. If you just want to look at, oops, I get it to come up. If you just want instructional films, administration specifically, different conditions, long-term care facilities specifically, you can click on any of these and then it will bring you back just those. If you wanted to know the date, you can also go in and change the date. You might not want health administration from 1937, but if you're doing a history of it, you may want something that's a little bit older. Just so you're aware of the different choices here. You can type in any set of different things in. I was doing history of economics, psychology. You can type in any words, and what it will do is just bring back just the ones that are videos. And I know they're videos based on this little nice icon, but it also says video there. Most of these are in this particular search I'm doing. They're all going to be available online. So you just click the link. You got your article. The other thing is, if you wanted to add this link to Brightspace, there is a permalink URL right here. You just grab this URL, put it in Brightspace, and then your students would have access to this directly from within Brightspace. Oh. So I'm going to talk a little about how you, so say you go in here and shoot, I just hit the wrong page. Sorry guys. Oh, so let me do that one more time. Apologies, everyone. I just shut everything. So three down. Let's get right back to the library. Yeah. So if you wanted to go ahead and request one of these, I'm sorry, I closed that on it. If you scroll down, you'll see services, a bunch of different things here, but services for faculty. So you have the ability to go to this request purchase form, and you can request a video be purchased. We'll ask you a bunch of different questions. If you were in the last session, showed all this. If you watched the last session, you'll see this. We're really asking you for some really specific information about the course. We'll say, do you want a video or a video that's streaming? If you don't care which version it is, you can pick both of these, and then we'll just pick the one that we're able to fund. When you need it, how many students are using it, how many students are in your course. If you're buying or asking us, requesting to buy a physical DVD, we can put that DVD on reserve for your class so that students can borrow it, watch it for the 2 hours, and everybody gets a chance to access it from within the library. We do have DVD players in the library, and students can also check them out. So there's multiple ways. I'm going to get back now. I'm not too bad. So, a couple other things about requesting. If you request a title, a streaming one, we can add it to our large collection in AVON. So the vendor is able to add those to that bigger collection. So it's easy for students to access. It's all within that same collection, easy to find, easy for faculty to link to. So that is a possibility, and they've done that several times for this us already. So we know that it works, and definitely we'd be able to do that for you as well. So let's go into the physical format. So if you're looking for physical books in Penfield, you can go in and search this larger database, do all books, videos only. But if you're looking for the physical videos in Penfield, you're not going to find them by searching this main section here. So it's a very similar looking interface, but if you click the library catalog, you can see it saying DVDs here, that it will search those. If you go in, it'll tell you how do you find these things. In most cases, our databases go to an advanced search, but in our catalog, we don't start at that place. We start here because most people come in, they know they want Scarlet Letter or they want whatever book they're looking for, and they just type it in and the book comes up and it tells them where it is. But in this case, you're going to want to do the advanced search. Because you're looking for videos under this material type, there's a whole bunch of different choices, and one of them is video film. So you want to limit to that so that if there's a film on the Scarlet Letter, you get the film and you don't get all the books too and have to sort through all that. So some things, let me see, I just did history just to see what we had. It will list if there's a librarian for that area, it will list that as well. So that's you're seeing exactly Victory's name come up. You'll also start to see a bunch of videos. The only thing I will say is here, so all the videos, they're all coming up as online. So you do have to do one more thing to just see the ones that we have in the library. So click held by library. And it will show you the 579 videos we have on history topics. So I see FDR, the presidency revealed, history of God, the history of the world in 2 hours, Vietnam. So several different videos are coming up. These are all located on the second floor of Penfield Library. You can check them out. You can put them on reserve for your class. Whatever is the best for the use that you would aim for it. When you do request streaming, we always do check to see if we happen to have it in print already. I mean, if we have a physical format of it already, or if we have it in another database. So we always do check that as part of our review to determine whether we can purchase it. There are other times that we get things. So this is how to purchase this is how to locate them within the library for the physical ones. If 579 way too many to look for, or you go, oh, after that, I want to look more on that, so you can put that in. You can click this subject and it'll give you, again, like it did in the other documentary films, nonfiction films, historical films. So you can click some other things if you wanted just foreign films or war films. You can click those and limit to that to get a smaller, more specific grouping results back. And I will say also, we want to thank Rebecca Birch, who donated many videos, to physical videos to the collection, international films. So those are being added and will be in the collection. They're being added as we speak, and they continue to be added, and soon will be upstairs on the second floor as well. So that's a recent donation that we received of physical films. I mentioned that they're international films because many videos that we find available that we can purchase sometimes are not, they're what's called non-US region, so they won't play in the United States. You have to have a special all region player. CTS is aware of this. They are able to work with you to make sure that those will play in your classroom if we have the physical one. Also, we have the players that you can check out at the library. We actually had a faculty member, we tested it, it works, he's able to use what he needs. We purchased a region 2 and we're able to use it. So just so you know that that's a possibility. So even if something isn't the US, we're usually able to get it and you would be able to play it with the help of either the library's DVD player or working with CTS. Am I missing something?
I don't think so. I just checked the search from the search box on the main page with with your history search, and that does search both online and physical. I wasn't sure. I had that question, so I just checked it. That I think is useful for people to know. So you could do your held by library here
Yes, yeah.
limiter.
You could do this way too. Yeah, there's so many ways to do it. It gets complex. So maybe it is easier just to go through the main big box there, unless you know for sure which database you want. So,
It's nice to have the options.
and I think sometimes the students don't find that as fun because it's like you go 5 different ways to get there. But yeah, you could definitely do this and then you get all of them. So over 9,000 showing up for a history. And then if I do held by the library, I get my 586. And then you can search within those. And obviously any of those, so say you did this and you're like, oh no, that's too few. I wanted to look at more in a different way. You can just X out of that and it'll take you back to your original, the search that you were in.
No.
It always tells you what you're filtering by, so you know you're filtering the videos.
So I have another question right now before we switch into AVON. The 80,000 AVON titles, they are not in here, correct? Or are they in here? Do we know? Because I'm not sure. I realized as you're talking, I'm not sure if they're all in here or not.
I will have to look into that. And find
Okay.
I may be able to check that while you're talking so that we can have that answer by the end of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I realize that's an important thing that we don't know the answer to right now.
I feel like with that number, it probably is, but let me double check that so that we're for sure. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've covered everything I planned to talk about. So,
Hey, thanks, Catherine. So I'm very excited to show you today some more about using AVON. As I was in the interim role handling requests for streaming media titles and other collections items, I realized that a lot of people are just unaware of how fantastic the AVON resource is. And AVON, again, Academic Video Online is what it stands for. So I'm going to go ahead and go into that. And I'm going to go in through databases as Catherine showed us, video, Academic Video Online. Okay, so we come into Academic Video Online on the home screen. And why does that matter? Okay, so the home screen is actually the home screen for the Alexander Street Press video platform. And the home screen actually includes access to some things that we do not have access to. Now that may sound counterintuitive, and it's something that we could look at changing in the future, but this is, let me just explain to you what we have here. So this is searching, if you were to search this box, you would be searching everything that is available through Alexander Street Press, which is Academic Video Online collection, plus a little bit more. So in a conversation I had with the vendor, the Academic Video Online collection makes up about 90 to 95% of everything available through Alexander Street Press. And I made the decision, I take full responsibility for this, to link to this opening page instead of a next page I'll show you, frankly, because it is more attractive. And I hoped that it would spur more people to use the product and to be interested to look into it. So in any case, that's what this homepage is, all of Alexander Street Press. And what they do, what the vendor does is they keep it fresh and wonderful looking. And so they highlight different publishers or different content. So this is a highlight of the film platform publisher. Then they've got, new editions, and they have editors' picks. And so, like I said, they keep this homepage updated with new content, which is really quite lovely. So over here on what is called the toggle menu, Here's where you could get to the home page, or you get to highlight. Okay, so highlight, this is the highlight section will take you right into Academic Video Online, which is our subset of the collection of the Alexander Street Press collection. Now, just one more point about that content that we don't have access to. I'll just show you what it looks like. You will know that we don't have access to it because it will say sample. And I'm just going to show you an example of what that looks like. Okay, here's one right here. So if it says sample, we don't have access to it. If it's something you need, we can look into getting access to it. But like I said, that's about 5 to 10% of what you're going to find searching here. However, if you go over to the toggle menu and you search on the highlight section and click watch now, then you're just searching the collection we have access to. Okay, so also on the toggle menu, there's a link to channels. And what channels is, we'll search in a minute here, so just hold on for a moment. Okay, so what channels are curated groups of content arranged by around subjects, people, and events. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on all channels. Okay, so here's where it gets kind of exciting, or here's the first place it gets exciting. All right, so once you're in channels, you can filter your channels. You can look at the popular channels they've identified, and you can see, so remember from the homepage, they had highlighted the film platform publisher. That's a popular channel, Black Studies channel, CNN channel. So again, these are arranged. The vendor has grouped these, grouped the content by subject, people, events, publisher, etc. You can browse by channel type. You can select one of these and it'll tell you how many videos appear in each. And then down below here, what starts is a alphabetical listing by subject. American Civil War, American film, American history, anthropology, art and architecture. Okay, and you can also search. You can search within the channels. So you can search up here. You could search history within the channels. And so now we see you could actually, you could narrow that further with the subject search, or you can just look and see what has come up for history channels, content within history channels. And so you see there here's a channel on world history, 9,604 videos, 27 videos on making history, 77 videos on Black history, 14 videos on the history of Britain. Okay, so these again are different channels that have to do with history. Okay, so you can share channels. Let's say you're interested in the history of Britain, which has no results. Oh, that was interesting. Interesting and unexpected. Let's go to the general history channel, which does have results. And so you can share the whole channel. You could share this whole channel of 13,521 videos. You could share that channel. You click this link that you'll see throughout the product. You have an opportunity to share the permalink, so you would copy and paste that. And if you notice, if you can see there, it includes our easy proxy information, which generates the prompt for authentication if you are coming in from off campus. So that's really important that it includes that there. That's very handy. So you would just copy and paste that into a document, or you can do the embed code if you're putting it into a web page. And there's also a link for the LTI to put this link to this channel into your Brightspace course. So you'd use any of the copy tools for the link that you wanted to use, and then you just insert it into wherever you want to link it. Okay, so that's linking to a channel. Let's go back Okay, so now we're back to all channels. If you'll note, looking at the popular channels, AVON has PBS content. So here I've clicked on the PBS channel. There are 1,779 PBS videos available here in AVON. Now you can click this filter button and you can now filter your results. So now you have options within the PBS channel. So looking just at PBS videos, you could link, you could search by subject. You could limit to, okay, I just want to see the frontline videos, for example. And you can see there are 146. You could also filter by person. Great example here, Ken Burns. Ken Burns is the fabulous documentarian. You could see the 135 videos that are in this platform from Ken Burns. You could search by content type. You could say, oh, I'm really interested in animation. I want to see what animation is in the PBS channel. You can also filter by language. So let's say you're teaching a Spanish course and you want to have Spanish language materials to provide for your students to view. So you can filter by language. You can also filter by release date. So you can see in this example of the PBS channel, we have content that goes back to 1974. Well, maybe you want the students to look at something, almost definitely you want the students to look at something more recent than 1974. So you can just narrow to say, okay, I'm going to look at 2018 to 2022. And then up the top, we can see, okay, that limited us to 657 videos. You, of course, can use multiple filters at the same time. So you could say, okay, I just want to look at Frontline from 2018 to 2022, and now we're down to 60 videos. And if you close the search filter box, now you can see the videos very clearly. You also have the option to sort the videos by relevance, title, or by date, newest or oldest first. So let's say you want to see the newest ones first. And here we go. So these are back to 2022. So here we got Michael Flynn's Holy War, Lies, Politics, and Democracy. So here we have, again, all of these front lines from 2018 to 2022. As Catherine had mentioned, everything in AVON is available to you on an unlimited basis, you and your students, because we pay an annual subscription for the whole product. So with the exception of those very small number of videos in this product that are not available because they're samples, everything is available to you and your students. This is a product also that we plan to have for the long term. It has recently become one of the SUNY Connect core resources. And so that's something then that we have a SUNY-wide commitment to maintaining over time. Now, that doesn't mean we don't pay for it. We do pay for it, but it is something we will have over time. Okay, so that's some channels. That's talking about channels. Let's go back to the toggle menu over here. And so back to channels. Recommendations, I have not found this to be useful at all. So I'm going to say skip that or explore that at your leisure. But let's look at my institution's content. Academic Video Online provides media hosting, and Catherine again alluded to this. So there are two titles that we have purchased from other vendors, two streaming titles that have to be delivered in a streaming format, and we are able to load them into this platform and deliver them to our students, faculty, and staff in this way. So we only have two titles right now that we're handling in this way, but this is what is under my institution's content. So we have much more content than that, but this is kind of like my institution's extra content that we are serving up through this platform. These two titles are linked in the library catalog. And so you most likely will not access them this way, but you can. Okay, then we've got collections. We only have the Academic Video Online collection, and there it is again. And about is about the product. Okay. For going back into Academic Video Online, clicking Watch Now. All right. So let's say you're not going to go in through a channel, but you just want to search for some content. Okay, so you see at the top, there are 80,000 videos currently in this product. And you can search, you can start right away by just filtering, but most likely you're going to start searching in the search box. And let's use the same example that Catherine used. Let's see if I spelled that right. Health administration. Okay, that did work. Okay, we got 3,278 videos with the words health administration in the search box. Now we're going to talk about search terms again in a moment. Okay, but we can go ahead right away and we can filter that. We could say, if you'll note, like in the subject, or you'll see in the filters, you'll see basically the same categories that you saw when we were filtering channels. And you'll see you can filter by subject, publisher, content type, person, language, release date. Okay, so the same filter options are there. And you can just keep drilling down. So actually, I'm gonna undo my health administration sample. I'm gonna go back to the history example instead. Okay, so we've got 37,972 videos that come up with the subject keyword history. And I'm gonna look in the subjects here and let's say, oh, I'm really interested in depression and World War II. Okay, so I'm gonna click that subject. And now I'm down to 2,414 videos. You can also search within these subjects. You could say, oh, wait a minute, I'm really interested in, let's see, politics. Now we get some suggestions about politics. So let's say we're, political intrigue, for example. Now we're down to 2 videos, which is probably too few for what you want, but just the point is you can do a lot of searching and drilling down with the search and with the filters in combination. Here, newsreels from 1940. Pretty interesting stuff here. Okay. So I just said also, okay, so let's actually go into one of these videos. Let's go into this one from 1940. Okay, I clicked into it. And you can see a couple of things. One, you'll see this is the title of this one, November 13th, 1940. And then you've got details about it. This newsreel, produced by Universal Pictures Company, is about military bases, political intrigue, and military explosives. I clicked the see full details, and you can see some additional details here. Release date 1940, field of interest, language, duration, publisher, specialized area of interest, discipline, okay? There's also, you can use the play button to play. There's a citation button, and that's going to generate a citation that your students can use. And note that you can pick the citation style format, and MLA9 is an option, and it'll regenerate the citation for you. And then your students can click copy citation and then put that into their paper, their document. You can also export the citation. Oops, that. Okay, and then here's the share link again. And you'll see it looks the same as the other share link when we were sharing a channel. Okay, and then it gives you some similar content to what your title was. All right, let's go back. All right, let's start again in the channels. And let's look at this, the films platform channel. So some of you may have heard about this Picture a Scientist film that came out a couple years ago. We provided, we had a 1-year trial access to this title through a different platform, and now it's available here. There's really great content in this AVON database. And like I said at the beginning, I think that people are not aware of the excellent content that's here. Here's the RBG film. There's superb content for your courses and also for your recreational viewing as well. When you hover over any of these titles, you can click on this eye for see details. And what it does is it brings up a little preview box that tells you a little bit about the film. You can see more. Oops, I guess you can see more details about it there. But you can also explore within the video. So you can use the scroll button to kind of move within the video. So you can kind of preview it, which is nice. The other thing that I forgot to mention previously when we were in here is about, I think we have to press play. All right, so you won't have sound, which is fine. Because what I want to show you here is that transcripts. Okay, I'm just going to play again. You don't have sound. Here's a transcript. Okay, if you'll note,
there was a strict quota for women. There were 4 men.
If you'll note, the transcript, the highlighted text.
So for parents, Cornell was
is moving as the video plays. You also can search the transcript. So you can search within the full text of the video. You can search for specific content or specific something that happens within the video. There's it right there. That's really handy.
But then I met
the other thing you can do here.
About this man.
I'm gonna move my Zoom box.
He was the first boy I ever knew who cared that I had a brain. Most guys.
Okay. You can also create clips. So it looks like for this particular one, it looks like they've actually already pre-populated some clips, which is really nice, which I had actually not seen before, or you can create your own clip. So I'm not going to go into how to do that right now, but that is an option. Now, back to the home page, or not the home page, excuse me, back to the Academic Video Online channel. With searching, when I did the health administration example, and then I undid it, the reason I undid it is that one thing you'll notice here for the search, well, you may or may not notice, there is no advanced search. Okay, so that can be tricky, that there's no advanced search, because that search that we did for health administration, that actually was searching the 2 keywords health and administration, and not the phrase health administration. How do I know that? It's my librarian superpowers that make me know that, because I looked up on the vendor website to see how you do searching. So there is no advanced search box, but there is advanced searching using search syntax. And so I know from that research that if you do health administration in quotes, that is going to get you health administration in quotes, that will get you that phrase. And that's 154 videos. So I don't remember how many showed up before. Do either of you remember that? We could just do the search again without that. But in any case, now these 154 videos are on the phrase health administration. So you can do quotes around phrases, and you can also use Boolean operators. There's more specific information on the search syntax available on a guide that the vendor has put out. And I will be creating shortly a research guide that'll be for faculty more specifically aimed at faculty, that will include a link to how to do the search syntax, the more advanced searching using the syntax. And I would just encourage you to ask a librarian for help if you need any help with that. Okay, there are also on that guide, there are some direct links to channels or subject searches. I think that you'll find very, very useful. And so I'll be linking to those as well in that guide, but I'll just give you a preview of that. And this is a resource provided by the vendor, which is great. Okay, so direct links to channels or subject searches. We're also going to be linking to some of these in our research guides. And so, for example, here's one on Black Studies. Channel. So 12,010 videos on the subject of Black Studies. So we're going to, we'll have a link to that. Another example, let's see if there's one for health. I did not check that. No, there is no health administration channel. Okay, but there's an LGBT channel, Indigenous Studies channel, Global Issues channel. A lot of great subject search / channels, women's studies. Let's take a look at that one. 758 titles with the subject women's studies. Okay, there's also, so you'll be able to take these direct links and put them into your Brightspace course, or send them, send your students to them in that way or in other ways, which will be very handy. Okay, another thing you can do here, oops, sorry. You can link directly to specific publishers. And they have some links to these specific publishers, which you can get another way as well, but this is kind of handy. So we will have this linked for you on the LibGuide as well. But so here's to Juno Films. So there's 18 Juno's Films titles. And you can see just as I'm scrolling through these, they're really, really good content that is available here. Okay. Are there any questions? Catherine has a question.
I did do a search in that main search box and it is searching the academic video online in that main search box off the library's homepage.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so in case you couldn't hear, oh no, you could hear because Catherine's got the mic. So never mind, you did hear. That's great. That's great news. Okay, wonderful. Any other questions from the vast Zoom audience? Or maybe from Jessica?
I was able to find a film that I no longer could get off of Kanopy. So that was good.
Excellent, excellent. What
But
film?
actually, it removed it from my course.
Oh,
Find it. So it was a place at the table.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Jessica, remind me what field you were in.
Health, promotion, wellness.
Oh, health promotion and wellness. Okay. So there are, if you need help, you or any of our viewers need help finding resources, we can help you navigate this. I think that this academic video online search is not the best. It's really not the best. It's pretty confusing because of all the different permutations and combinations of, search the subject and then filter down. It can be pretty confusing, but there is really good content here. So I don't want anyone to go away thinking oh, there's nothing there, or, oh, it's too hard to search. Please reach out to a librarian to have us help you, because there is really good content here, and we can make, great use of it, and make great use of great use of it for the benefit of our students, and then also great effective use of our resources. Since we're paying for this whole thing, let's use the heck out of it would be what I would say. So. Any other questions or comments or anything you want to add, Catherine?
No, I think you covered it really well. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Thank you all for coming today.
Yes.
Should I end the,
Yes,
just end? Okay.
yes, you want to look it up.